is where our 4 on the month is, and that happens to be right near R3. Is it a lower range? It is not. It's a higher range. But we're near S3. So maybe if the market goes long, Microsoft could potentially be a buy. Order structure is bullish. I might watch out Microsoft at the open. Actually, because all the Qs and stuff though are all in a selling range, man. I always hate going long tech tickers when the Qs are look like they're gonna sell off half the day. How's our order structure on in Q looking? Look at the short in the pre-market off of R3 that Lauren got because he's an overachiever. Hopefully it comes all the way back up.
Especially for such a slacker. He's really an overachiever.
I used to be a real hard slacker, so I'm making up for it nowadays.
Hey, Thor, on the TOS stuff you have, the ATR, what is PR and DR? I tried to figure it out on my own. I said,
It's
hard.
No, all right, so check it out. So ATR is the measurement of the average of 14 days, highs and lows. PR is our pivot range measured. So it's the distance between R4 and S4.
Oh, okay. No wonder Google didn't have any info on it.
Yeah, this is all my shit. This is custom. This is all custom code awesomeness. So why this does this is because this is how we can now figure out if we actually have a narrow day or a wide day statistically. Instead of doing it based on 2-day relationship, I can just tell you if it's a wide day or a narrow day. Since our ATR exceeds our PR, then we will likely need to exceed one side of the 4s in order to achieve ATR. So we're going to put that as a narrow day, right? Because it's very likely we play near the edges or go outside, right? So now because we are lower yesterday at the close than 2 days ago, we get a lower range value, right? And then so that gives us those. DR doesn't start till the open. At the open, as we start to go up and down, up and down, up and down, DR is constantly measuring the distance between high of day and low of day. So you can tell when your ATR is being met. So there's a lot of times when I'm getting ready to do a reversal, especially if we get a really big, hard, fast move, and you notice what happens is you immediately, let's say ATR is 305, and after a few minutes, you're already at 305. Right, this is going to be a really good spot to look for a reversal to set up because you've already ran your ATR. So, but it's cool because it actually calculates the low off of the high. So if it goes down and then goes up and then goes down and then goes up and then goes down, you actually get that value. Boom. All for you.
Yeah, that's great.
With love. So if you have TOS, you can just load this into TOS. After we're done getting this all put together, I'm going to try and get someone, because we have some C# coders in here. So I'm going to try and get someone to come in and take all of this whole string and then code it with the same coding into Ninja, so that we have it available in Ninja. So I just want to get it. I want to get it finished on this one and get everything working and make sure it is working, and then we'll work on replicating. Replicating. I'm still short.
About to open.
Oh, that was quick. Check the news today. Oh, that's a CPI in the morning, huh? CPI. We got some Fed speakers. Kashkari. Fed Williams is about to speak now. And then Fed Logan at 9:45. Oh, we got Fed speakers all day. 1 o'clock, Fed's Musalam. 1:30, Fed Schmidt.
Bang-a-lang-a-lang. All the selling on it, Microsoft's being absorbed here at S3.
Rejected opening price. And Q at least.
Yeah, I cut my short before the open. That way, because who knows what's going to happen once it opens.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and just cut it. So threw
Yeah,
a
I was
couple
kinda getting
$100 in the
stuck.
till.
I was kind of getting stuck to VWAP and the 50 and all that.
I want to short it still if it comes back up,
Yeah.
but for now I'll let it
Yeah, if it
drop.
goes back up to R3, that's going to be a good
Then
place to
I'll
look for a short.
maybe give it another shot. But
Yeah.
right now, I think they'll probably try and squeeze.
There was a big order at 21,000 yesterday on the book. Probably still there.
Oh yeah, there it goes. It just got a seller.
Well, this should. I mean, if you get down to S4, we know what to do.
Tesla's ripping. It's in a lower range. Look at that hit to R3. Holy crap. Tesla wicked R3.
Oh man,
busting out of this lower range like crazy.
That's like 2 to the freaking tick.
Gone. Nvidia didn't give me what I was looking for, so I'm just gonna hang in there. Man, Tesla, like, I don't know what just happened on Tesla, but the volume coming in on Tesla is crazy. Too much volume, actually.
Too much?
Where did it sell from yesterday? It sold from 345 yesterday. What's the book look like? Whoa, where did my book map go? Did I close it by accident? Ugh.
Whoa, yeah, look at Tesla. Back to 350.
I need to see the book on this thing. Tesla.
At this point, I might start up a long-term portfolio again, just with a couple things: Nvidia, Tesla, stuff like that, like no-brainers.
Yeah.
Just hold on for it's going to be like a 10-year hold. So, future should be bright for Nvidia and Tesla. And maybe even some Amazon or something. I don't know. I mean, imagine having a portfolio just being like Nvidia, Tesla, Amazon, and maybe some Apple. That'd be a solid portfolio.
Oh, absolutely.
As far as like a long-term hold,
I haven't found anything real I'm loving right now, so I'm just kind of like hanging.
It's only 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of. I like AMD in a lower range, but it's at the CP right now. I need this to get up to R3. I'm kind of hoping the market like squeezes a little bit and can get this thing a little higher and get everything back into a selling range, because we kind of started selling in pre-market. So
Just got a nice R4 breakout on PLTR.
Oh, nice.
PLTR still at like $25. Seems like it's been around $25 for years.
ELTR?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at 62 now.
Oh, it's at 60. Oh, holy cow. So if I'm, oh yeah, look at that. Wow. Because remember, it seemed like back when I was watching, it was like always hanging out around the $25 mark. Oh yeah, I'm going back in time.
It went bananas.
Wow.
Since the
That would have been a great investment, buying that back in. Yeah, you see? So it's between 131 to 88. It was basically like $25 the whole time. But man, it's lifted majorly, huh? If you would have bought in a 21-ish, you would be triple your account.
Yeah, it's kind of fun right now. I have a lot of long-term PLTR in Tesla. So
Yeah, PLTR, as far as the AI type play, like this is a solid play.
Amazon approaching R4 with pre-market.
At a higher range?
It is a higher range, yes.
Nice.
Oh yeah. It's at the without right now. Wow. Look at the seller just hit the Qs.
Yeah, NQ pulled all the way back just above the opening price where it was wicking off of to stop all those people out, and then it went down.
It's almost all the way back to the bottom of that initial like big candle off of S3 basically.
No.
We just hit without and immediately started selling on Amazon. That looked pretty solid right there. I didn't take it, but because I wanted it to get higher.
Yeah.
But that looked pretty solid there for a second.
Yeah, I'm ignoring the without because it's with.
Sometimes it's good to check the other cam set just to make sure. Might not be activating it differently. I know some
Yeah,
stocks like Nvidia.
I haven't arrived at
Nvidia,
that skill level. I haven't arrived at that skill level yet. I'm still like,
Okay.
I can only look at one set of cams without really going crazy.
Oh, are you in DOS?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I never had both on my screen. It did my head in when I had them both, but I'd just switch. So Thor used to have a hotkey that you could just quickly turn one off and check the other.
Yeah, I do have that too, but my brain just is not able to decide, because sometimes it's just not really a.
Oh yeah,
Correct,
sometimes
right.
you open it up and like the cams are so tight on one thing you can't even really trade with them in DOS at
Yeah.
least. But so stocks like Nvidia, I found like sometimes if it's a with day, sometimes it'll use with the without cam setting still.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why it does it. Maybe different market maker or just trying to confuse people,
Well, or yeah,
right?
our
Well,
rules,
you have to remember
our rules
that.
are a bit arbitrary, maybe.
Well, no. So think about it this way. All right. So when you go to sell a house, right? There is multiple ways to list your house, right? You could either sell it through an agent who has a broker, right? And if you sell it through them, you get the advantage of getting to list it where the agents list their listings, right? Which is the MLS. Right. So now in the stock market, there is no for sale by owner. Right. So you can't say, well, I don't want to put it on the MLS. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just list it and put an ad in the newspaper. Right. In the stock market, you got to list it. Right. So you have to go through a brokerage. You have to go through an agent. You know what I mean? You can't as an individual actually go, like Lauren, the individual, cannot go buy shares Lauren, the individual, has to log into his Charles Schwab account, and then his broker buys his shares on his behalf, basically, more or less. Not quite so cleanly. So, but this is something to keep in mind as you're going through, that whole situation there with that. It's kind of a different way to go into it. So you always have to have this relationship with the book. So when you're looking at the order book, you're actually looking at a compilation of all the different orders that are being listed on all the different exchanges, right? Like there's, your DOM is an aggregation. So imagine if there were like 10 different MLSs, right? Your order book is going out and it's saying, I've got INET's book, I've got ARCA's book, I've got IEX's book, right? There's all these different books, and you don't have all the books, right? There's EdgeX and there's other different books that are out there that we're getting pricing off of, which is why sometimes you get an iceberg order, right? Because that iceberg order could actually be listed on an exchange you're not even getting the orders from, right? They're just somewhere else, but the market makers are on all of them. So the price is being exchanged on an exchange you don't even see, which is why you don't have it, because you're not subscribed to the data to see it in the first place. Right, so it's data's power, right? So, but this is why you have to keep that in mind, that sometimes you actually have competing market makers, right? So the reason why one cam set's working over the other cam set is because one of the market makers is using one cam set, one's using a different one of them switches, and whoever's carrying the majority of the action that day, whoever's the one who's really doing the big move today and is buying, if they have a big client they need to sell to, whoever's buying that day, their algorithm's going to be the algorithm that's going to lead the charge.
Yep. Clear. That's and that becomes a lot more complicated to analyze, because if you now have multiple market makers in your model, not just one consolidated one, that becomes an interesting exercise of thinking things through.
Well, so the reason why I do what we do what we do, let's say, right, is one of the relationships I have is a relationship with someone who works, or a few someones who work at Citadel, right?
Yes.
So Citadel uses a predictive algorithm that does switch depending on pre-market action, right? So and Citadel is known at any given time to do around a third of the market's market making on any given day. So it doesn't mean it's going to work all the time. But since we're kind of in bed with basically the biggest, player on the board, we'll be right more often than we're not. You know what I mean? So this is why it's important to focus on tickers that are well participated in with good volume. Because if there's a lot of volume, Citadel's in. You know what I mean? You can't have a lot of volume without them. They carry like a third of the market share when they're doing market making, right? So if there's high volume, Citadel's playing. So that's why we want to look for the tickers with good volume that day, because that means we're more likely to have our team's more likely in charge. Here goes AMD. I'm looking for AMD and Amazon. Oh, there we go.
I took Amazon long, but now it's bumping up against R4 with.
Correct, R4.
Hey
It's
Thor,
respecting both R4 with and without. Go figure. And now I'm gonna get stuff done.
I kind of have a weird theory that the way you do with pre-market data, without pre-market data, I think that works better with equities. But when it comes to futures, and maybe it's just me, instrument settings seem to work the best generally, and with pre-market
Well, instrument
data,
settings today mirror without.
What's that?
Instrument settings and without are like the same thing today.
Okay.
So what I have found is that instrument settings will mirror one of those, right? And then every now and again, especially on like a Monday, instrument settings will be a significant difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it calculates differently. But like, so TOS, for instance, uses instrument settings. We're calculating using instrument settings. So like,
I
if you
almost
see right
never
now,
use without.
you'll see on
and-
ES right now. Look at where, like, you'll see here. Look at the precision.
Yeah. Well, that also matches instrument settings.
This is instrument settings.
Oh, okay.
Toss it. So look, see here. Here's the open price at 260. It's 612. That's when we closed. When we opened at 6 o'clock. That's the price we opened at.
Yeah, and the reason that I'm thinking this is because the futures, the futures are open 23 hours out of the day. So
So the only thing I have against that, full disclosure, is the futures are an instrument that is predicting the movement of an ETF. Right? The futures can't go anywhere without the ETF. Right? So not at some point the two of them will find a balance. You know what I mean? So if the SPY is trading significantly higher than the future that's related to it, at some point in time, that's going to equalize itself, and it won't be the SPY coming to the future. You know what I mean? It's the future is. So the one reason why I have left my methodology the way I have left it is because I kind of treat the future the way I treat SPY, since that's the instrument it's traded on. But I had to do that with DOS because I didn't have the ability to do otherwise. So now that we are using futures, I think I am starting to maneuver also towards using instrument settings with futures, because there is technically no after hours.
right.
So I may create a new concept which I have to back test a little bit, which is based on the concept of for futures or 24-hour market items. Once we go to the 24-hour market, we may be using instrument settings more often because we'll be opening and closing basically at the same prices. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be really interesting.
That's gonna change things a lot altogether when that
It depends
happens.
on how, I don't know how the market makers will change it. But we'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting one way or the other.
Yeah. Anyways, that was my 2 cents on it.
I like it, man. I agree. Really weak push there on that buy for Amazon under R4. Starting to sell a little bit. I'm in a short on Amazon.
Hey Thor, I'm curious where you entered. I was looking at Amazon too, but by the time it made the 1 minute low 2 minutes ago, and the stop above high a day, I thought it was just too wide of a stop, so I didn't take it.
I'll show you
80 cent stop.
right here. Right there.
Oh, got it. You got it on the first rejection R4.
Yeah, it hit R4 and then it made a pin bar there, so I went short right there, and then threw my stop right above 211.75. If it squeezes up to 212 and hits and then comes under and sets, I just get back in it again.
Nice. Nice.
I liked how it was
Alrighty.
absorbing up here. I'm not 100% convinced this one works, but it's the right spot. It's a wide range. It's a higher range. It's a wide range, and it's right off of R4, so it's the right spot and it's the right entry signal. I would have liked a larger VPA signal here. So this is probably more of a fade than a full reversal, but with any luck, I mean, we're in the right spot in a wider range. So with any luck, this one works. The Qs really started to sell there for a second. They bumped right into S3 and then bounced. So, or the NQ. So, but hopefully we go lower than this. But it looks like we're finding a buyer right now.
Yeah, you see why? Okay, so here's what happened with me. So I stopped that 3 times on Amazon now. So this is why I was saying I don't look at both because they confuse the living hell out of me. So I was going to rely on without. And if I just relied on without, it would have worked. But the moment that Thor said, oh, it's respecting with, I started looking at with. And if you look at with, it could go both ways, either long or short. And then
Technically,
same
the
thing.
order. So technically, unfortunately, we both might be wrong on this one. So the order book actually is a little bullish right now, and we are in a higher range. So if this doesn't turn around here in a second, I might have shorted into a trending breakout. So if that's the case, like if the Qs bounce right here, then no good for me on that one. So that's why my toss automatically switches between cams. So this is the one I'm using. So and it was with pre-market data is the one I want to trade off of. So but yeah, it's why I do it. I found through that there are some. This is why I switch it this way because it was. I can't see the other one. It did adhere the other one pretty well, but it didn't stay right under it just perfectly. It was wicking up and through it. This one went right to it and turned right around with some volume on it too.
Yeah.
Oh, fingers crossed. Now we're moving lower.
Yeah, and you see the volume that you just pointed out, the volume bar right after it is the majority is selling, right? Lower volume
Yeah.
without the buying volume. So that means the market maker took off the foot off of the accelerator of buying.
Well, yeah, so you
Just-
can see one thing I'm noticing too. It's like, so we're not, if you're looking at the book too, our buys are not moving the price up very well either. Like when we have large buys, they're kind of lateral, large buys
Right.
kind of lateral. So
Right.
I wouldn't say we're necessarily short, but it does seem like we're not a long. You know what I mean? So, and at this point, with being in this range, with the wide range, my expectation would be to stay inside the range. So the question is it gonna UTAD me, come get me to hit this order, 212, or am I gonna be okay? And I'm hiding behind this order right here at 211.60, which actually came down to the price a little bit to 211.50,
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting. What time?
tricky.
But look, they're buying into it right now, which I'm not in love with.
And it's moving up. Not really. Somewhat. So there's a iceberg there, it looks like, because it's hidden. You don't see it. Okay, all right. So lost 3 trades already on the same ticker, which I should not do.
The market keeps trying to buy off of S3, and it just really seems like they're not getting in the bids they want every time they try and do it. I'll be right back. Oh, actually, I have a session 5. I'm gonna go ahead and take off. I'll be back on in a little bit. I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
I shorted Apple off of R3 and it got within 9 cents of my stop and now it's reversing. It's so painful to hold through that.
Yeah. So sorry, you shorted, you longed from R3?
I shorted off of R3 on Apple
Okay.
right at the open there.
R3, I apologize. I was looking at S3. I'm like, why would you do that? Clear. Okay. R3 at the open. All right. And where's your target now?
It's right at S4. It's 222.67 and it got to 222.76.
Oh, it'll come down. You're good.
Promise? You said
I
it. You
promise.
promised.
I promise. I'm just looking at the ATR. Yeah, ATR, you've got all the way to 221.8. So I suspect this.
And the book map is very red, but now there's orders are starting to come in above it, but there's a big order at 222 that I was kind of hoping it would work towards.
Yeah. I went in for the 4th time on Amazon. Revenge trading. We gotta work now.
How'd that help your Amazon trade?
What's that?
How'd that help your Amazon trade? You're short, right?
Yeah, I took a short, yeah. Good, but still it's gotta go past 210.38, which it's getting stuck at. 210.34. Okay, so it passed 38, but still it's, come on. I was checking your trade. It's I think it's a reasonable pullback. Should come back down now.
Yeah, I hope it rejects VWAP there. But
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay, so Amazon broke through VWAP, but it's now coming back up. Come on. Go back down. I should just call the Citadel folks down to sell. Oh, nice. Come on. Where did you put your stop on Apple?
my stop was up over around 225.25. I have moved it back to break even because I can't be up 3R and then lose an R.
Okay,
really good.
understood. So you've already done a successful trade, 3R?
It went to 3R, but I was holding for 4R. So
I see.
and it didn't make it. So I just when I hit 3R, I move my stop to break even because it's things too much to get within a few pennies of your target and then lose an R. I don't mind breaking even, but losing an R is too painful for me. It's just too painful to see it go up, you know.
I hear you, man. Quick question: is this your first trade today?
It is, yeah.
Okay, understood. I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling.
Yeah,
It's
and you
going
can always
well.
get back in. You know, just
Mhm.
remember that you can always get back in.
Sure.
If you want to stop out at break even, you know, just sometimes it's hard to get back in, but you can always continue to watch it and just jump back in, maybe even at a better price.
Yeah.
I just noticed Thor is meeting by himself. That's nice.
Only way to get an intelligent conversation, I guess.
All the way to what, sorry?
Get an intelligent conversation for him to meet with himself.
He's probably talking to himself.
Rehearsing something.
The weird thing is he's streaming. Oh, that Amazon trade seems to be moving in a better direction.
Yes. Sorry you lost 3R in that one. So yeah, it'll be nice to get a 4R and just fucking end the day with a 1R. That'd be cool.
I took that Amazon trade as well, but I got stopped out almost to the penny, and then that's when it started selling.
Where was your stop?
I didn't have it above high day, which is I guess my downfall there.
Yeah.
I had it.
At 9:59, is that when you got stopped out?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got stopped out on that wick.
Ouch.
Yeah, I had it like right at high day, just not, and then it sold. I guess that's okay. I'm just happy I saw the short and I took it, so that's a win.
Yep.
Not all trades win. We're good.
You know what I hate about trading using small risk is the slippage is probably the same as using big risk, but because it's small risk, it shows up more. I'm using a $25 risk, so sometimes it slips and it goes to like 27 or 28. I'm like, what the fuck? That's too much.
Yeah, that is true. That sucks.
I notice on stocks like Coin, the slippage can be crazy
Oh,
because the spread can be 40, 50 cents sometimes.
okay. 40, 50 cents. Wow.
Yeah, when Coin is really moving. Well, right now it's about 40, 50 cents, yeah. Or higher. Wow. Wow, Coin is crazy right now with that spread.
Does anybody have access to Edgeflow right now?
I haven't gotten it yet. Thor's been saying he's going to get a code. I've been kind of waiting for that, but if he doesn't get it soon, I might just pull the trigger.
We may have found a buyer on the keys. I don't know.
I do have Edgeful. I'm still learning how to use everything, but is there something you want me to try to figure out for you?
Yeah, Drew, for sure. If you could just Amazon, please.
Say that again.
Amazon. Some statistics on Amazon about breaking high of day, just like what we did yesterday. I think break of high of day. Actually, one second. Break of previous day high.
Well, look at the buyer we found on the Qs.
Yeah.
That S4 on the trend short. I did take that long. Just gonna try it. That's where we bought from yesterday.
I longed S4 on NQ, and it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm in a good entry. I might be a little late, but I'm pretty good.
It's
That's
a
a big
lovely long. It's the best long ever.
We'll see if we'll see if I get to my target. My targets
That's a-
are below our 4, so it could work.
So that's a question. That candle on the Qs is really big, but the volume is the same as the previous two candles.
Which I'm looking at the. If you look at the 1 minute chart, at 10:07, that's like the biggest volume of the day, and that was where we bought from the other day. And I mean, it was where we bought from yesterday. It was
Oh, I
the
see.
low of day yesterday. So when I see that, that's like and like a lot of the volume kicked in at the bottom end of the candle,
It did.
Yeah.
which is a sign of a reversal. I mean, it could have a double bottom. It may not. I don't know, but
Yeah, like
That's-
Lauren
that's-
says, the bottom is not all. The first bottom is not always the bottom.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But
But
I'm
that's a
looking
good
at
reversal sign is when you see that volume like that on one candle,
Yeah.
and that's a good sign. That's like, hey, that's a algo kicking in or something.
Yeah, it's like exhausting volume, I think.
That's exactly what that is.
Who was asking about the edge full?
I think it was Rafi. If he's still here.
Okay. Well, if he gets back on, I'm like logged in, and I just wanted to see what report he wanted me to pull up for Amazon.
Does Edgeful have an API? Does anybody know?
I do not know.
I couldn't see any info about that on their site.
Oh, Tesla came back. Just was too high to short at the first of the market, but it started selling.
Yeah, it didn't really line up with anything, did it? I mean, I guess you could have
No,
taken it.
I didn't. Yeah, it didn't line up with anything, but it did end up selling. From where we sold from yesterday, it's just where that was with the cams didn't make any sense.
Yeah, the stop would have been way too long there.
Let's see if this buyer holds up or if I get stuffed out.
Yeah, that was actually an early entry for me, but that first candle, I thought it was going to run away. But I took a partial and got my stop at break even.
Yeah, that's good. I guess I'll take the full stop. My stop's below low today and below the Y low.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to play it. That first green volume, that first candle, yeah, that was a big move on a lower volume candle. But then the second one, and I'm looking at a 2 minute. The second one was way bigger, and that made me feel a little better about it. But
If we make a new high here somewhere, that would be a choke, and that would be another good sign.
Yep. So we'll see. They can't all be winners.
No, it can't all be
But,
winners, but
yeah.
you gotta try.
See, my thing, and I know that you've had the same issue I had as far as holding winners, and I'll tell you that yesterday I had those 3 stop outs in a row to start the day, and going to 1 micro. I mean, if you really would just want to practice holding, that was great, because it's like, so what? I'm just gonna. This is my last trade of the day, no matter what. And I said, so
Yeah.
since I cut my size down so drastically, this will probably be the one that never comes against me, and probably be the one that runs 100 points. And
Yeah.
it never came against me, and I actually ended up getting like 113 points out of it. And it was just so easy to hold. I didn't, it was like, okay, well, I'm like 20 points. It's moved 20 points already, but if it comes back against me and stops me out, I'm only like $50. So, I'm still not going to lose anything. And it was really good practice. And it just so happened that it never came against me, and, ran like an hour in my direction. And then as soon as it said, as soon as it hit my target, I got out, and then it reversed. And then, I wasn't really watching it, and I got in what I thought was a little bit late, but I ended up getting back in the other direction, and that turned out really well too. So, you never know, but that, as far as practicing holding winners, I highly recommend, if you're not trading, if you don't need the money to make the house payment, and you don't, just put the P&L worries aside, and take one, take a real small size, and just see what happens, because I'll tell you, I was, but that's the first time I've had 3 stop outs to begin with. I can't even remember the last time that happened. And like I said, I wasn't proud that I had to go to 1 micro, but I was proud that I did it instead of going to like 10, going the other direction. And I just wasn't concerned about the P&L, and I didn't even have to walk away. I was actually able to sit there and watch it. And then after it started coming against me, I was like, okay, well, whatever. At least I didn't get stopped out again and have to stop for the day. Because if I get stopped out 4 times, I stop, because something's not right. So I took that partial, moved my stop to break even. It's not optimal, but I did take 5 micros. So it's, for now, it's working out. And I've got to go soon, so I may just leave my stop and set a range order and just leave it unless it comes back and gets me before I have to go. There's some big orders down below, but I kind of had to stop looking at Bookmap like that. For me personally, I look at these big orders, and just because they're there doesn't mean it's always going to get there. And Thor's webinar last night just kind of changed the way I use Bookmap, because
they're gonna have institutional orders everywhere, but
right.
I mean, it's gonna stop somewhere and reverse. Like the biggest order, like I looked in Nvidia's book earlier, and the biggest order of the day is up at like 150.
Yeah.
So and we didn't go to 150, we sold. But my thought process is, well, we're selling to get more liquidity to end up at 150 eventually, somewhere, someday.
Yep.
We're gonna go back to 150. So, it's just a matter of how low do they have to go before they can bring it back.
Yep.
And those big orders just kind of look big because of the coloring, but if you look at the size, they're not that big, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And that big red one at 055 is only 65 contracts. So.
The webinar you're talking about was yesterday,
Yeah.
BBT.
Yeah, and I recorded it, and Thor gave the okay. I'm gonna make it available to Pivotal, and I think Thor wants to kind of remove any BBT branding on it. I'm not sure if he wants to do it with this particular one or not. So I don't want to post it in the room until I get his okay to do that. He just said to make it available to Lauren, and I'll do that. It may be later today because, like I said, I have to go soon. But it will be available, and it's a really good. I highly recommend to watch it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Is that BPA on demand?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. If
Yeah.
you're a BBT member, it's posted already.
Yeah. You have to be an elite. Oh, it's posted already. That's good. That's even better. So I think we may have some people in here that aren't elite, and I think Thor probably wants to make it available, but that's up to him. I'll go ahead and send it to Pivotal, and if anybody, is not an elite member and they want to see it, then they'll be able to as soon as Thor gives the okay.
Wonderful.
And I'm sorry, what is that you're going to be sharing? I missed the beginning.
The Thor's webinar on PVA on demand last night.
Oh, from last
Yeah.
night? Yeah, I was there. Again.
Yeah.
Hey, Dwayne, is it just me? Are you the only person who calls it PVA?
I don't even know what I call it. I don't even think.
He just misspoke. That's all.
No. Even his trade book, because he gave me his trade book a while ago, and it
Oh,
said
yeah?
PVA. Yeah. Everybody else says VPA, but it's just so funny that you always call it PVA.
Could be a little
That it matters.
Let's all make fun of the guy who's making money.
Yeah, what a loser.
Yeah, right. The guy who had a 3K day yesterday.
Oh, those results are not typical whatsoever.
They will be soon.
I'm hoping. Hey, how about that though? You and me both had our biggest day on the same day.
I know.
That was pretty wild.
On a day that I struggled more than I have in weeks.
It was a difficult day. It really
just
was.
goes to show you,
Yeah, that makes me think that I did something wrong because Dwayne did bad.
Well, it was kind of crazy yesterday, so maybe you were just more tuned in.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. I just like I said, it was one of 2 days in my life where I felt like I was in a zone and
Yeah.
I just couldn't lose.
I love that.
Yeah. Great feeling.
Yeah, that's why I liked a disciplined trader better than trading in the zone, even though trading in the zone is way more popular. Because he says in the book, you can't force yourself to get in the zone, and the more you try to force yourself, the less likely you'll be to ever be in the zone. And I'm like, well, why do I want to? What, if I can't, if I can't do it, if there's no way I can do it, then, why do I even care about it? I'll just let it happen. But like Lauren was saying yesterday, at least a disciplined trader has a lot of things you can, a lot of exercises that you can use, like doing the 20 trades.
Yeah,
And,
apply them right away.
And he doesn't even seem to care what kind of system you use. He doesn't spend any time on that. It's like, but you have to stick to it. And one thing he says is, you have to take every setup. Just like a casino. A casino doesn't, unless they have somebody who they know is cheating or But the casino doesn't say, "Oh, I'm not letting you at the blackjack table," because they take all comers, and and that's where their edge is. So that he pretty much stresses that if you see a setup, you have to take it. And I have a feeling a lot of that has to do with if you see setups and you hesitate or you don't take them, then it skews your data too. If you're going to do the 20 trades and go back and look at them, you better have taken every trade.
Right. I also think that trading in the zone, like when I recommend books to people, my buddy who got me into trading recommended that as one of the first couple books I read. And I would not put that in the first top 10 books you read. I think that's more for somebody that's been trading a while, kind of knows what he's doing already.
Yeah.
That it's not a beginner book.
Right.
Whereas The Disciplined Trader, I thought was great for, I would put that in top 5 or 6 books to start off with, along with, Anna Cooling's, maybe Thor's, and a couple others.
Yeah, I read that book.
Can you guys put the names of those books in the chat, please? Both of them?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much.
Start with The Disciplined Trader, though. That was my mistake. I read Trading in the Zone first, and you definitely don't want to start with that book.
Sounds good. I will do that.
Another good book, if you're looking for one, is Best Loser Wins. I'm not sure if you've heard of that.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yes, the
And
one that
obviously-
Thor talked about a couple of weeks back, right?
Probably. And Anna Cooling's volume price analysis, that's probably the best book in reading volume there is.
Yeah. The problem with that is I went through her thing and the examples she provides are so clean cut, right? But then when I look at charts, it's just not really
100%. I agree with you on that. I felt the same way.
My problem with it was they're black and white, so I was having trouble seeing exactly what it made it a little tough to read it. I don't know if there was a color copy, but I didn't get it if there was.
You do have a color copy. I get it. You can get it from Amazon.
Okay.
Yes, there's a color copy for Amazon. I have the color one.
you could look at a chart and you can see some of the things she talks about as like, this indicates that they're gonna buy and all of that. And then no, they're not buying, they're chopping. So I don't know. Just like someone just talked about how bookmap sometimes misleading depending on the way you look at it. I think VPA is also something. It's just not about reading her book and then understanding it. You've really got to see where her book does not work, and then you'll find where it works, kind of thing.
There's one more book that I would highly recommend is probably a top 5, and it's Technical Analysis Using Multiple Time Frames. That's Brian Shannon, I believe.
Okay.
But that book was very helpful as well. And I think he's the dude that is kind of on the forefront of the anchored VWAP. I haven't read any of those books, but he's a great trader.
Yeah. So we were saying, what were we saying? Best loser wins. And then what was the other ones?
Disciplined Trader, Anna Cooling's Volume Price Analysis.
Only price analysis for, what did you say, the Disciplined Trader? Or
Disciplined Trader, that's Mark Douglas.
okay.
Anna Cooling's, I believe it's called volume price analysis. Am I right, guys?
Things like a complete guide to volume price analysis. Coolant.
Yeah. That's right.
In the mentoring chat, we put some links. Dwayne put the names of them, and I found a link to the audiobook of Discipline Trader. If you want to listen to it, it's about 6 hours.
Oh,
She
nice.
do have the color book.
Oh yeah, I think her new book is in color. I
Yeah, I
remember
got it.
someone saying that.
Yeah, I got it. I got it from Amazon.
Oh, you got it. Oh,
Yeah.
I think I might have to buy the new version.
I'd hate to have to rebuy it, but it almost would be worth it.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
I believe I have a PDF version, so I can post a link of it.
Thank you.
I will post a link of it, the PDF version, and I think I posted somewhere.
Oh, the other book I would say is using technical analysis using multiple time frames. I think that one helped me a lot. That's Brian Shannon.
And this Apple trade is killing me.
And if you want to learn about Wyckoff strategies, I posted a link to our recommended Wyckoff book. Wyckoff methodology in depth.
Thank you, Dwayne. That's a good one.
Yeah, and there's a 2.0 of that, but obviously you want to read this one first.
That and I know Lauren has reposted it a few times, but there's a good I think it's like a 2-hour video on Wyckoff. That kind of goes over everything in great detail. The guy does a really good job.
Hello. I don't use TradingView, but I know Al does. Ace Man. He's not in here this morning, but if he gets in here, we could ask him. Okay. I'll be talking to Al later today, so I'll mention it on the phone if he could Jag undo. I'll ask him if he could maybe do he's got his own room too, but I'll ask him to help you out. Welcome.
I didn't know he had his own room.
Aceland. He doesn't use it much.
Third alert. Long.
Aceland.
Is it a Discord?
Yeah, it's here. It's down by our rooms.
Oh! I thought you meant he had his own.
Oh,
like he had his own.
No, Thor made him a little,
Yeah.
like ours is. Dwayne's
Yeah.
domain. He's got Eastland.
I thought you meant he had his own, like,
No.
cult following. If anybody could do it, he could.
Yeah, someday. Yeah.
As funny as that sounds, I created my own Discord room like a long time ago, but I never did anything with it. So I don't have any friends in there or nothing in there. I just have it.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
Get in, loser. You know those get in, losers. We got to go cook some meth. Those memes.
Yep. I didn't even invite my brother into it. It's just me.
So I took another partial at the 50 on the 2 minute. I know this is not the way we're supposed to do it, but I still got one left. And I just checked my P&L, and that's not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. So feel like I got a little revenge today, for because yesterday was tough, and I see all these people having their best days ever, and I was like, but that's one thing about trading. And I even I think Thor put that in his book. I posted on Twitter back when it was Twitter that the great thing about trading is there's no competition. You see somebody doing better, you just want to learn from them. And there's unlike other endeavors, it's like there's no jealousy whatsoever. You just want to learn from them. And he actually put that tweet in his book. And that was where the page where he had the picture of what's his name, the Einstein of Wall Street. And I think he even replied to it or something, or mentioned something in his book. Is like, even he agreed that that's the great thing about trading is that you help other people, and you don't really it's not a competition in the sense that you get jealous when you see other people having success. You just want to learn from them.
Yeah, for sure. Easier for Peter Tuchman to say who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but
Yeah.
it totally makes sense. I get what you're saying.
And he also has the more people that get in, the better it is for him. Especially
Yeah,
when
he
they're
wants the whole
following
world.
rules. Yeah.
Yep.
I would suspect that he would prefer more people get in that follow the rules than just the cowboys that come in and they're a flash in the pan and they take all their money and they're gone.
Right. Yep.
And Amazon's tried to break R4 almost 4 times now. Damn, I didn't realize Bitcoin broke 90K.